throttle at normal mode, and ladies and gentlemen, we're driving a 2024 Mustang GT, 5-liter V8. This one's got the active exhaust, so we have 486 horsepowers, 10-speed automatic transmission, all independent suspension, and this car is fantastic. Sounds great, looks great, drives great, is great. Those are the headlines right there for the new Mustang. For someone who lived for many years with live axle Mustangs, including a 2010 GT Premium that I owned personally, and just having driven a million of them over the years, it's still a trip to drive an all-independent suspension Mustang. This is now the second generation of the independent rear, because the cars are just so much more planted and refined when it comes to the road feel. Simply fantastic. And we're going to bring it to a complete stop. And since this car has the active exhaust, let's just go all the way and put it in track mode. Track exhaust is now on, so we'll go similar throttle to what we did on the last one. And you can definitely hear the difference there. Probably a little much for me on a day-to-day basis. I don't think I would use that one on a regular basis, but it's all right. Here, we'll back it off one. We'll put it in sport. Sport mode's maybe a little more pleasant, but honestly, the car sounds great in normal mode. If this were my car, especially, obviously, if you're going to pay extra for the active exhaust, you're not going to put aftermarket mufflers on it, but, you know, I was perfectly happy with the stock sound system, stock mufflers on my old Mustang, and I think I would be on one of these too. All speeds indicated on screen are in kilometers per hour, just for the record. I'm gonna play with my steering too. I'm gonna put it in sport steering. It's crazy how refined new Mustangs are. This is a GT Premium. It has the 401A high premium equipment package. So it has like the contrasted stitching on the interior, and the interior is so beautiful with this kind of Bordeaux leather and heated and cooled seats and B&O sound system, and oh, this car is just great. And it's, you know, they say, allegedly, that this is the last generation of V8 muscle cars. Allegedly, the Challenger's going out of production. I won't miss that. That thing was a boat. Allegedly, the Camaro's going out of production. I won't miss that. You couldn't see out of it. Felt like you were driving a pillbox, a heavy pillbox at that. And for one more generation, you'll be able to get a Ford Mustang, the original pony car and still the best, with a naturally aspirated V8, and it even has a manual transmission as an option. Oh man, this car is fantastic. Fantastic to drive. It just plants itself. It has so much grip. It's got Brembo brakes. Anytime I see somebody in a Camaro or a Challenger, especially a Camaro, the Camaro, to me, there's just no point to it. You can't see out of it. It's not as nice to drive as a Mustang. I don't really think it's any cheaper. And, you know, I just don't see the point of it. I think the Mustang looks nicer, and yeah, I'll admit I'm biased. I like Fords, but yeah, and then the Challenger is just a different kind of car. I mean, I could see buying a Challenger for the looks, because it is a very nice looking car, but the performance is not there compared to one of these, unless you get a Hellcat, but it's never going to handle like a Mustang. I could see buying a Camaro for longevity, because as we all know, General Motors cars run bad longer than most cars run at all. But other than that, I'm not having it. I'm a Ford man. Oh, God. This car has a button to push on the steering wheel so that if you're using the adaptive cruise control, it will lock it to the speed limit, which seems like it might be handy in a car like this, because God knows you could break the speed limit with something fierce. We got a garbage truck going this way. We're gonna let all these goofus cars go by us. There's a bicyclist coming. We're gonna have to be mindful of him. We got this. Another thing I like about this car is the traction control does let you have some fun. That was illegal. No, it wasn't actually, because it's in kilometers an hour, so don't worry about that. And now we will just get in line with the rest of the traffic, and that's fine. Oh. It's funny because I make these test drive videos, yeah, obviously for the people at home. You nice person who clicked on my video and watch it, I appreciate you. And normally when I do one of these, I will never buy whatever car, you know what I mean? The last one I did was a Kia Sportage Hybrid. Nothing real wrong with that car, but I will never own one of those as long as I live. But this is basically me auditioning what, you know, at some point in the next probably 3 to 5 years, I will own one of these somehow. Just because I've always missed my Mustang that I had, and I've always wanted another one. And I don't see any reason why I wouldn't get one if this is what it's like, because this is great. The only issue I have with this car, and it's really not the car's fault, it's kind of a personal problem. So earlier this year, I own multiple vehicles, and I replaced my Subaru Legacy XT with a 2012 Mercedes-Benz S65 AMG. And if you don't know what that is, it's the big Mercedes sedan with the twin-turbo V12 and 621 horsepower. And the S65 is a totally different car from this, obviously. This is less power, double the gears in the transmission, lighter weight, but the Mercedes has so much horsepower and so much torque that when I first got on the freeway in this thing, when I was driving it for the first time a couple of days ago, I was like, wait, I thought this was going to be fast. And then I just realized, oh, yeah, I have a 621 horsepower Mercedes now. It does kind of change my perception on things. But, I mean, that's, you know, that's obviously not this Mustang's fault, and it's a stupid measuring stick. Because this car is plenty fast and the performance is great, and it's because it's smaller and lighter weight than the Mercedes, it handles much better, and you can, you know, practically on a road like this, it's probably faster, just not on the Autobahn. But this car has more ear horsepower too. Ear horsepower is how fast the car sounds. There's 3 different ways to measure horsepower. You've got brake horsepower, which is what manufacturers post on their websites, because that's the bigger number. And then you have wheel horsepower, which is what you get out of a dynamometer. And then you have ear horsepower, which is that. And the Mustang is certainly not lacking in ear horsepower. This is such a cool car. Such a cool car. And Ford did an amazing job with it. And you know what? Kudos to them for keeping the classic muscle car alive for one more generation. This is a future collectible. I mean, let's be honest, especially with a manual transmission, if you're looking for a modern car that's not, you know, not overly expensive, not some limited edition, you know, Porsche or Ferrari or something that could be a future collectible, I would say that any naturally aspirated V8 Mustang with a manual transmission right now, and even to a lesser extent one with an automatic, is going to be a good investment car if you can keep it long term, you know, put 3,000 to 4,000 miles a year on it as a second car, keep it garaged, maintain perfect service records on it, and get it in a decent color combination. 10 years, let's say this car goes out of production in 6 years. 10 years from now, 15 years from now, you know, if Cars and Bids or Bring a Trailer or whatever stupid auction sites bring in all the money, then you're gonna get all the money for it, all of it, and then some, because you're not gonna be able to get them anymore, and that's a shame, but it is what it is. So anyway, that's my review of the Mustang GT Premium. If you my test drive video, if you want to see my full review, I'll put a link to that in the description. Please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and always obey all posted speed limits. And have a great day. Bye-bye.